this is Jenny Hatch, Natural Family Blog. It is October of 2007, and this morning my kids have late start for their school. So we're having kind of a leisurely breakfast, and I thought I'd go ahead and make some waffles. But this is a variation on some recipes that I put up on my blog in the past, so I thought I'd share it with you. I've gone ahead and already ground up some fresh ground red wheat. Red wheat is great for making waffles and cracked wheat. It gives a more nutty flavor to the baked goods and has great nutrition. Now to this, I'm going to add some fresh ground fennel seed. And what fennel has is properties that are great for helping you to digest your food. You don't need a lot. I'm just going to put in a half a teaspoon here into my grinder. And you'll find that when you grind your stuff fresh, you grind your whole grains fresh. Here's my wheat grinder. I just had it on. And when you grind your spices fresh, all of the nutrients inside of those are fresh and ready to go. There's no oxidation that takes place. And the free radicals that come with rancid oils are just not a part of your cooking, and this amazing flavor comes through. So I just put in 2 teaspoons of brown flax with the half teaspoon of fennel. I'm going to grind that up. This is a little seed mill I have called the Miracle Mill. Use this almost every day. And right here I've got my half teaspoon of baking soda, baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. You'll find that your baked goods taste better if you use some free-range eggs, and of course organic milk. I'm using whole milk because the fat content in that makes it so you don't have to use as much oil when you go to make your emulsion in your eggs. You want to separate your eggs, and I've got 4 eggs here separated. Here's the whites and here's the yolks. Go ahead and make your whites light and fluffy. I'm not going to take the time to show you that right now because it takes about 2 minutes. But in this one, I'm going to put in a little bit of olive oil with these yolks, and you want to create a little bit of an emulsion between the egg yolks and the oil. The oil I like to use for this recipe is an extra light olive oil. I just use that Bertolli brand. It's really good. I'm going to have to put the camera down while I do the emulsion, but you'll see. You just put a little bit in and mix it together. Now to this emulsion of egg yolks and olive oil, I added a cup of milk, and I went ahead and beat up the egg whites. And I am going to add the dry ingredients with a little sifter. And you're going to need to do this with your spices because you don't want big chunks of spice going into your dough. And even with a really good food mill, you're going to still get a little bit of grit. So you want to just make sure you strain it a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in some flour with that and shake it down. And it's only 2 cups of whole wheat flour with this amount of liquid. What you'll find with whole wheat flour is that, especially if it's fresh ground, you put it in there and it just soaks up the liquids. So your dough in the beginning, it may feel kind of watery, but then after just 5 minutes, it'll thicken up remarkably as the wheat flour soaks up the liquid in your dough. So you want it to be really watery, and if it's not, you can just go ahead and add a little bit more milk, or sometimes I even just add water. I'm going to put the camera down while I finish sifting this in. It's taken a little while, and I'll show you how we put it all together. Okay, here's our dough. You don't want to overmix it, so you want it to be a little bit lumpy and floury. If you overmix it, your waffles will taste kind of rubbery. I'm going to add the egg whites, and this is what makes them nice and fluffy. And you just fold these in. I use a rubber spatula, but you don't want to stir them too much. And this consistency of the dough is just about right. It's thick, but it's not, really, really thick. Now you want to go ahead and grease up your waffle iron. I just use a little bit of this Pam stuff. And make sure it's on a nice high temperature. And then I go ahead and spray my scoop so the stuff doesn't stick. Now you do want to let it sit for just a minute, so I'll put my waffle dough in and then I'll come back and show you the finished waffle. And what you want to watch for, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's steam coming up, and you want to watch for the steam to start getting less and less. And I actually think the steam's a better indicator than these lights here on the machine. So these ones are pretty well done. They're nice and crispy. Paul likes his with jam, so we've got some organic butter and blueberry jam here. So just send that out with him. Paul, your waffle's done. And when you're doing it, this scoop is not enough to make a full waffle. You want to do maybe like 3 scoops. This is a smaller one though. Just kind of spread it out. The cool thing about using fennel is the amazing scent that's coming up, wafting through the house as we cook these. Paul said to give this one to Allie, so I'll let her have this one. But one of the things I forgot to mention in the recipe is I put in 3 teaspoons of brown sugar, and a little bit of sugar in your dough isn't so much about flavor, it's more about how it cooks. Your waffles will be more crispy and golden brown if you'll just put a little bit of sugar in the dough. So I hope I got the whole recipe in there. I'll write it out on the blog though so you can see it in print as well. But it's a nice healthy breakfast for our family on a slower morning, because waffles take a little bit of time to make. But this is Jenny Hatch, Natural Family Blog. Happy eating.
I ate my waffles with jam, and I could hardly taste there was fennel in them, so I thought they were fine.
But all the kids said they hated them.
Tasted fine to me.
What did you say?
I said that I kind of like them.
Okay, Annie kind of liked them. Allie did not like them. Jeff said he preferred the ones without the fennel. So, you know, you can take those testimonials for what they're worth. These are mine. I personally believe when you put fennel in stuff, actually I know this, that they simply are easier to digest. So, you can put the fennel in, you can leave it out, it's up to you. And what's going on for lunches, Paul?
And he took a cup noodles.